I think a lot has been said. Professor Chacha Naigoti Chacha was here and he talked about Moi and the education system. And interestingly, I grew up in Nandi County and I encountered Moi in public rallies at a very close level. And when I was in campus, I decided to go back to where I grew up in Nandi, and that's where I met Moi close, because he was fond of schools, so he came to one of the schools that he had supported, Kapsabet Girls. And we used to have these Nyayo dinners with at that time was a former president, with President Moi. And it was very interesting to just have a conversation and be close with President Moi in one of these Nyayo dinners that I experienced. And one thing I realized that he had this aura of power around him, and he was a very approachable man, even with that aura of power. And the support he gave to schools, I think there is a Moi school almost everywhere. Where I come from in Migori County, I think the biggest one is Moi Nyaboanse, and then there is Moi Suba. So my encounter with him was in the academic realm, and it's interesting that I'm also in that field. So I would say that it was just interesting that I met him within the environment that he supported. I remember him for so many things. I wouldn't want to mention the milk and maziwa nya, because everyone has mentioned that. Yes. But I think he valued education. I would say that Moi really valued education. He would take his time to visit schools. I had another sister who was at Kipsigis Girls, and I think the stories we got from Kipsigis Girls and the encounter they had with Moi, it was almost everywhere. And I think it's something that Kenyans really appreciate, the schools that he built and he supported. That
you are in the field of education right now, are there things you would appreciate that, he set a foundation as far as education in this country is concerned that we are still experiencing right now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that is set forth for Kenyans. When I went to campus, I think it was because of the systems that he had put in place that we had an education system that is functional. I mean, the transition from high school to campus and the loan facility that we had, I think it gave most of us from very humble backgrounds an opportunity to enjoy campus life. And, that came immediately after the boom era. And because of the realization of the economy that the government was not in a position to just pay for fees and give people boom, I think the loan system that he instituted or was instituted during his time laid that foundation. And I think even in the higher education system, by the time Moi was leaving power, I think we had 6 very solid public universities. Kibaki did his bit, but I was fortunate enough to have been a beneficiary of the 6th university that was full-fledged just before he left power, Maseno University. And you could see that the foundation was there, that universities were not just sprouting like they are today, that there was a system that underpinned the emergence of universities. And you'd actually say that it has a lot to do with the fact that he was a chancellor of all these universities. And moving to other countries, I've taught in another country in Africa, Liberia, and you'd actually appreciate the education system that we have. You would, because we have a system that is functional. And if you look at this against the backdrop of what we experienced in the 1990s, immediately after the Cold War, the coming down of the Berlin Wall and the structural adjustment program